Ask Tom on Home Show.
Pedro from Brookside Village has a question about a moldy mess.
He followed your advice. You always said stick a finger in it, right? Well, he leaned on a wall and his whole hand went in, and what he found was a wet, gooey mess behind the wall. It's a whole bunch of mold here. He says, I pulled the drywall off and found all this mold and black mold and mildew back there, but I could not see a leak. He says, now my floors are laminate, and the plumber found a leak at the toilet flange, and my moisture detector indicates that the floor in the hallway under the laminate is wet, and the closet wall behind the toilet has a bit of mold at the bottom. Do I need to remove the laminate floor, or will it dry out after the toilet is fixed? And I can barely see some lifting. It's not really noticeable, he says. So should I replace the drywall and let the cavity dry out after spraying with mold killer? And also, Tom, I guess it comes down, he wants to know, do we have a Home Show Pro that can handle this?
First off, I think the first thing you have to do is call your insurance company and see if this is covered, because it is toilet flange water. This is not clean water. In Hurricane Harvey, if we go back to something as such a disaster, we had all that sewage and dirt and mud and animals and stuff in the water that got in people's homes, and they tried to save even ceramic tile, but all that bacteria and everything gets in there, and it's not healthy, and you can't clean it up once it's underneath a vinyl floor. So the consensus was it has to come out, and I would present it to my insurance company in that sense. Now, I think the vinyl floor has to come out, so you're going to have to match the whole floor. So that's why I'd ask you to call them, because they're going to have to make it whole. It was from a plumbing problem, so hopefully you're covered with that. And as far as all that sheetrock, that's not drying out. That needs to be cut out and disposed of. I noticed you probably get away with either 2 or 4 feet high. I can't really tell by looking at the picture, but I would cut all the sheetrock out. I would put new sheetrock in. This has been going on a long time. This is not a cleanup. This is a redo, and I would have someone come out and redo it. Now, if it becomes an insurance claim, I don't know of anybody that's going to go in there, because insurance claim work is an animal in itself. We don't have a lot of certified Home Show Pros, mainly because they probably wouldn't get a lot of work from the show, because our show is based on day-to-day home improvements and things, and this is an insurance claim. So this is one of those things like during the freeze, nobody wants to deal with, but that's why we have insurance. And if you have a good insurance company, I know, Charlie, you do, I do also, they usually have people they can refer that they work with, and it'll work out well if you're dealing with a competent insurance company. Hopefully Pedro has one too. So that's what I would tell him to do, but it's got to come out.
In fact, our insurance company, we called them about, we have that little burst pipe during the freeze.
Little. Yes.
Well, it was. I turned the water on,
really,
it burst,
yeah.
We turned it off. And we didn't have that much damage at all. It didn't go down on the wall as much as we thought it might have. We opened it up, and and as it turns out, it would have been to our detriment to file a claim, because it would chew up the lifetime coverage on the house for something that we were going to fix anyway. So we didn't do it. And so that's good advice to call the insurance company and do that.
Yeah, you don't even have to put in a claim, but at least find out, because this could be a big job. They start tearing it out, they find it under the cabinets and things. Mm-hmm. Now, the one big difference here, Charlie, between yours and theirs is yours was clean water. Clean water is going to dry out. People get clean water all over the place all the time, and sometimes you have to, fix a little damage, but it's clean. When you get into sewage, that's a whole different ball game. That's when you really need a decent cleanup.
So follow Tom's advice, Pedro. That's what you need to do. And what you need to do is click on that Ask Tom button, fill out a form, and send it in. Because you see, Tom gave you advice on things you never even thought of. Just go and fill out the form, send us pictures, send us videos, do whatever makes your heart feel full. And we will make sure that your knowledge basket is filled to overflow.